Hello and good day to all of you. Today we are going to discuss very interesting topic in earth science, which is all about patterns in the sky under module number 8. In this lesson, you will be able to understand the characteristics of stars, like its color and temperature, and you will also learn the different patterns you can see in the sky at different times. This lesson is aligned with the most essential learning competency from the division of Caloocan, and that is to show which constellations may be observed at different times of the year using models. These are the expectations. Number one, describe a constellation and its origin. Number two, identify some constellations observed in the northern and southern hemisphere. Number three, locate some star clusters and identify some bright stars in the constellations. And number four, describe the position of a constellation in the course of night. Stars are the most widely recognized astronomical objects. Stars represent the fundamental building blocks of galaxies. Are the stars the same in terms of its size? Stars are vast celestial bodies which made up mostly of the elements hydrogen and helium. How about in color and brightness? Are they similar? Let us know the answer. When we look at the sky during nighttime, we can see thousands of stars. Actually, there are said to be 400 billion stars in our galaxy, and galaxies number is said to be 170 billion. We as a person can see 3,000 stars on the average, but stars' size, color, temperature, and brightness are not the same. They are actually different from one another. Additionally, the Sun is the closest star to our planet. That is why it appears bigger in our eyes. But in reality, the Sun is so small if you are going to compare it with other stars in the universe. Sirius is very small, but it appears bigger than Rigel. Do you know that there are different brightness of the stars? Actually, there are two kinds. The first one is what we call the apparent brightness, which is the brightness of the star that is seen from the Earth, and it is based on the distance of our planet from the star. Another kind of brightness is what we call the absolute brightness, which pertains to the brightness of the star if all stars have the same distance from the Earth. When you look up the sky during nighttime, what do you see? Do you see some pictures or figures that represent objects and animals? You know, in early times, ancient people visualized group of stars in the sky that resemble images of animals, people, and objects. That is what we call constellation. Constellation is defined as the imaginary group of stars. Many of the names of constellations that we need today or we use today have been named by early Babylonians and Greek civilization. One classic example of that is the Orion, which refers to hunter and is well known in the night sky worldwide. In the Philippines, we have Balati, which means trap in hunting wild pigs. How does constellations help the Asian people? Constellation is being used to determine when to sow or harvest. Since calendar is not yet created in early times, people had no way to identify the time of harvest. So they developed a way to recall the time to harvest and the time to sow. For example, Orion designates the coming of cold season, while Gemini is seen during April and May in the Philippines, which indicates planting season. Another use of constellation is for navigation, most especially across the sea, wherein sailors can find their way by just looking at the patterns of the stars in the sky. So constellations play a big help to the ancient people to recognize and interpret patterns in the sky and for their lives. Polaris, which is also called the North Star, is considered the bright star in the constellation Little Dipper. It is located close to North Pole, that is why it is called northern pole star. It is positioned almost motionless in the sky. That is the reason why Polaris can help the sailors or navigators to find their path as they sail across the sea. Aside from Balatic and Gemini used in our country, there are other names of stars and constellations used in our country specifically by Matigsalug Manobo of Bukidnon. Here are they. This table presents the local name of stars and constellations by Manobo like Baha and Pandarawa. You can also see here when will they appear in the sky like Baha. It can be seen during December to February, while Gibang is present during April and May. In each constellation, there is corresponding agricultural activity related to that. Like for instance, the Pandarawa signifies the start of planting or what kind of crops to be planted and to grow, while Malihe indicates planting of rice, corn, and vegetables. Additionally, this table shows the Western equivalent of constellations used in our country. For example, Gemini is a Western equivalent for constellations Gibang, while Taurus is the equivalent for constellation Baha. So this table will guide how Matigsalug, Manobo, Bukidnon use stars and constellations in connection to their agriculture. So let's conclude our lesson for today, and I hope you can apply the learning or those things that you understand into reality. That's all. Thank you for listening and have a nice day.